Hey lovelies, Yuritsa here. Thanks so much for your crazy patience while it's taken me forever to get some of this stuff up. I'm about to get started on my bullet journal setup for 2020. I can't believe we're so close already. Before I did that, I just wanted to briefly go over the fact that I'm not starting a new journal. I'm only this far through my current bullet journal and I have so many pages left to fill. So old me would have probably started a new journal for the new year, but I didn't want to like waste the pages or separate stuff out. I decided to just kind of keep going from where I was out at, but I did want to mark the new year. So part of what's taken me so long to get everything up and out for you guys on like the blog and my like tarot prompts, if you do that kind of stuff and all that jazz, is I was working on some printables for the new year. I do like tarot tracker printables and stuff like that every month, but I also wanted to do a couple special ones for the new year. So that stuff is going to be linked in the description. I have a lunar calendar based on Eastern Standard Time. I made a little cheat sheet of the zodiac signs and their tarot associations, and like some keywords about that I hand drew all the art that's on there. So it's part of why it took me so long to get everything up. And then more importantly, for our purposes, I also made a Wheel of the Year printable that you can see here. It is precisely the size of this journal. I want to say A4. So it does like perfectly fit edge to edge. So I trimmed it down here because I wanted to leave some space that I'm gonna put some like stickers and stuff on later probably, but I also drew this and that took me a lot longer than expected. This is based on the Northern Hemisphere. I didn't have time to fiddle around and do it for the Southern Hemisphere. I promise I didn't forget you guys. I just underestimated how long it was gonna take me to draw all of this stuff. But so this printable is available as well. Again, all that stuff will be linked in the description, and that's how I'm kind of marking my change over into the new year. If you do go and like download any of that stuff, it's gonna ask for your email to send it to you. You're not signing up for a mailing list or anything. It's literally just to avoid robots and so that I know the number of downloads that I have, because I have no way of knowing that until now. That way I know what kind of things you guys like and are popular and I can keep making more of, and what things nobody cares about that I can stop wasting my time of. So anyway, enough with that. Again, this is how I'm just kind of breaking from December into the new year, is with this fresh Wheel of the Year. And then I'll give you another little close-up there. And then, yeah, so now I'm gonna get into it. It's gonna be pretty basic because I know from experience that if I put a whole bunch of stuff before I even get into the month itself, like I never go back to look at it. Like if I make big long lists or spreads, I hardly return to them in a time that makes sense. So it's gonna be pretty simple. Enough rambling, done enough of that. Let's get into the setup. All right, so we're all done with that. I'm just gonna quickly go over kind of everything that I did. So again, I've got that printable that I spent so much time drawing it on Procreate, I didn't wanna have to do it again. So why not print it out for myself, right? In my year ahead spread that I did on Yule, my card of the year was the world. So that was like the second half of my intro page for it. And then I got this nice little sticker on there. And then I kind of went back to, oops, nope, just kidding. I forgot about this. I decided to do like a bucket list, and I intentionally called it a bucket list as opposed to like resolutions or goals, because if I do any of these things, even in part, that's awesome, but I don't want to beat myself up too much if I don't do all of them, or like know that if I don't do them this year, I can do them next year. It's just kind of like a mental thing. But basically, a lot of the things that I did, I realized I could do like 20 of them, which I thought, doing 20 of something in 2020 would be kind of cool, but I didn't want to limit myself that much. So 10 of the items have 20 in them, and the other 10 are just like other stuff that I'd like to do. So I've got read 20 books for fun. Sometimes I pressure myself to read like specifically for educational purposes or because I should or whatever, and it makes it hard to motivate myself to read. So I'd like to read 20, fiction, nonfiction, whatever, but like just for fun. And then also 20 books to learn. So witchy books or nonfiction, and these can, these could potentially overlap. That's fine with me. Kill two birds with one stone. Save $20 a week. Write 20,000 words of fiction, lose 20 pounds, watch 20 new movies, spend 20 days at the river. I live very close to a river, so I like going out there in the summer, and I don't always do it as much as I'd like. So I've got about 4 or 5 months out of the year that are like really good for that, and I think I can fit 20 days in there. Have 20 new adventures, so this could be as simple as going to a museum or an amusement park, which is a little less simple, or just, trying something new, whatever it is, which out of 365 days, I would hope that I could manage 20 of those. Curate 20 writing and ritual playlists. Obviously music is awesome when writing and doing ritual and all kinds of things, but I tend to just kind of put my music on shuffle, and it can not always give me the energy and vibe that I want. And I always tell myself I need to like make some like focused playlists for like, this is the particular mood or vibe that I want, and I never do it. So I'm gonna do it this year. And then finally create 20 pieces of art. So it could be paintings or drawings or, a little craft thing, whatever. Just 20 creative things throughout the year. And then I also have finished setting up my workspace. I've got like an office kind of room set aside that I still just haven't unpacked and organized, and I need to get a desk for it and stuff like that, and I keep putting it off. So this is the year, hopefully, that I will get that done. Landscape the backyard, finish my Ghibli sleeve. If you haven't seen it, I've got this awesome sleeve that I've been working on for a while with my tattoo artist, and we are, as you can see, very close to done, and I would really like to finish it this year. That one might be a little bit out of my control because my artist is amazing and she books out pretty far sometimes, so that might not get all the way done, but fingers crossed. Make a Kickstarter deck. I don't want to get too into it because I don't want to jinx myself or anything, but I am planning a couple of decks actually, but I'd like to try to at least, even if it doesn't get successfully funded, to at least just freaking go for it. So more on that later if I get around to it, which hopefully I will because it's on the bucket list. Partake in Get Messy Art Journal, which is like a monthly thing that you can join that's just like art journaling stuff. I will put a link to their website in the description, and that's something that could overlap, look at that, with the create 20 pieces of art. look at that. Learn Lenormand. I have a deck and I've played around with it a little bit, but I really want to kind of venture into that type of divination. Make a travel altar. This one is really simple. I could knock this out in a couple of hours probably, and I wanted to give myself some things that were not quite as difficult as, for example, funding a Kickstarter. Go out of state. Again, that's one that can overlap with the Have 20 like new adventures. Take a week off from work and everything, and take another week off. I really wanted to emphasize that to myself. At first I was gonna do just a week, but there's 52 weeks in a year. I think I can pull off 2. We'll see, hopefully. So that's kind of my bucket list, again, with some stickers in there to make it a little pretty. I was going to color it in, but I wound up liking just kind of the mostly like black and white with just a couple little pops of color, so I just left that as is. And then we get into January, where I did kind of go back to a little bit of an older style. So this is the layout for that. I have my calendar where I'll put some important dates, and I've got the major lunar phases. During my year ahead spread, which was a 60 card spread using 8 decks that I promise sounds way more complicated than it actually is, like way more complicated than it actually is. And on my Instagram, I did an Instagram TV thing where I explained it if you want to know more about that. All that to say, the kind of mantra that I got for the month from that of January from the Universe Has Your Back deck was, I'm unapologetic about what I desire and trust that what I focus on will grow. So I wanted to put that nice and front and center there. And then my monthly energy, so my card of the month for January was also the World, which was kind of nuts. So that's my card of the month from tarot. And then I used the Animal Magic Oracle to draw some like kind of guidance for how to approach each month. And for January I got the Sea Turtle, which was about independence and resilience, so I put that there. And then using the My Quality Time self-care deck, which there is a flip through on my channel of that, I also drew some self-care things for each month. For January, dance was the big one, and then I did connect and visualize as supplemental ones. And then I put love here, honestly, because I didn't pencil this part out. I just freehanded it, as you can tell, and was like, oh, I can't fit the word visualize here, but it's gonna bother me if it's like off center. So I mean, love and connect kind of go together. There's nothing wrong with love, so plop that in there, no big deal. And then this is my tarot tracker for the month that has the lunar phases and zodiac signs that they're in. These little boxes I'll color in with like a color coding and symbol system that I have, and then tracking my like mood and stress and sleep and stuff on this line graph along with it. Same as I've done before. This part of the tracker is available in a few different styles as a printable, which is also on that link in the description if you want to check it out. And then last month I had left behind my habit tracker and found that the things that I normally do every day, like making my bed, I just like stopped because of the way the human brain works. You get some kind of reward after a habit. It could be, you know, if you eat a lot of sugary foods, that sugar is the reward that kind of keeps you coming back. And there's a trigger that kicks off a habit, and I didn't realize how much the habit tracker had become both a trigger and a reward for me. So I realized I needed to get back to that so that my bed doesn't look messy all the time and other things. So I've got awake by 7 a.m., take meds, make bed, clear my inbox, set my top 3, tidy up, and read. So whether or not I do all of those things every single day will remain to be seen, but at least I have my trigger back so that I don't just not do it at all ever. And then finally, super simple gratitude spread that I always do. I'm grateful for, and then 1 through 31, 2 lines per day. And then I usually like doodle or do something with this little extra space that we got here. So that's it. that's my setup for 2020. Really the only two big things I did for the year, again, were this kind of like cover page and the bucket list that I did. I just, if I put too many things up in the front, I'll never look at it, and I would not have gotten this stuff up in time. So, you know, keep it simple, stupid, that kind of thing. That is it. I appreciate you guys so much. Again, don't forget to check out the link in the description to the download page for those printables if you want to check them out. They're super cool in my opinion, not to toot my own horn, and they're free. You have to give your email so that it has a place to send the download. It's not signing you up for a mailing list with me. All that I get from it is knowledge of how many downloads of each item there is, so that I know what to make more of and what to make less of, which I think I mentioned earlier. So yeah, other than that, it's free. Can't go wrong with that. You can donate if you'd like, which I super appreciate. I cannot stress enough how helpful it is in allowing me a little bit of my money back from the supplies and time that I spend on this. So yeah, that's really greatly appreciated, but not at all required. I know what it's like to be strapped for cash, and I always want to strive to make as much of my content free and available to everyone as possible. So it's really important to me. So yeah, there's no obligation to pay any monies or anything like that. That's it. Thanks for being patient with me as I got this out, and I love you guys a lot. I'll have some more unboxing videos for you soon if you watch those, and that's about it. Happy New Year.